Hey there, dog lovers. Have you ever walked by those sad eyes at the shelter and wished you could take them all home? Well, what if I told you there was a way to make a massive difference in the lives of shelter dogs without needing to adopt every single one? I'm Megan from Canada of Mine, and today we're going to talk about something that literally saves lives: fostering shelter dogs. Let's get real about what's happening in shelters right now. We are in the middle of a pet overpopulation crisis. According to the latest data, around 4.8 million cats and dogs entered the shelter system in 2024. Even more concerning, the median length of stay for large dogs has doubled since 2019. That means shelters are more overcrowded than ever. When shelters get overcrowded, dogs experience stress, more disease outbreak, and develop behavioral problems due to lack of exercise and enrichment. Despite improvements, over 600,000 shelter animals were euthanized last year. Many simply because there wasn't enough space or the animals didn't show particularly well in the shelter environment. And that's where fosters come in and can really make a world of difference. So what is fostering exactly? It's providing a temporary home until a dog finds their forever family. You're essentially a bridge between the shelter and adoption, giving that dog a chance to decompress, learn house manners, and show their true personality. The shelter typically covers medical expenses and in some cases may also provide gear and food as well. Your job is to provide love, basic care, and safety for these dogs who desperately need it. You help the dog become more adoptable by teaching them just how awesome home life can be. Okay, let's talk about why fostering truly is the most impactful thing you can do to help shelters and shelter dogs. First of all, you save 2 lives, not just 1. This is because of the dog you foster and the space you create for another dog at the shelter. Shelters are insanely overcrowded right now, with many unable to take in new surrenders simply due to a lack of space. I know that's the case in Austin, Texas right now. This is an incredibly dangerous situation for unwanted pets. I don't even want to think about what a desperate individual might end up doing with an unwanted animal when the shelter won't take them in. When you foster a dog, not only are you making a huge difference in the life of that dog that you're bringing into your home, but removing the dog from the shelter also opens a spot for a new animal to be taken in. You really do save 2 lives. The next reason why fostering is so important is that foster dogs have dramatically better adoption rates than dogs living in the shelter. Research has shown that foster dogs are 14 times more likely to get adopted than a dog who's living in the shelter. No, that's not a typo. You heard that right. 14 times more likely to get adopted. So why do foster dogs have such better adoption rates? Well, in our video breaking down the 333 rule, we talk about how dogs need several weeks and sometimes even months to fully decompress from the stress of the shelter. Shelters are so chaotic and stressful for dogs that many of them rapidly deteriorate behaviorally once they're in there. This means that when adopters come to the shelter to meet potential new family members, the dogs they meet are super overwhelmed, under-exercised, and really stressed and anxious. As you can imagine, these dogs might end up being louder, barkier, mouthier, and jumpier than they normally would be in a home. It's hard to put your best paw forward when you're so anxious and just pumping full of cortisol. But that anxious, barking dog in the shelter might be a very sweet cuddle bug who just needs a bit of peace and quiet to show their true colors. In a foster home, dogs have gotten the chance to decompress, lower those stress levels, and get the care and attention they need to relax and really be themselves. And this allows them to make better first impressions with adopters. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, please just take a quick minute to like it and subscribe to us on YouTube. It's really so helpful and allows me to keep making videos like this one. Thank you so much. When you foster, you're also reducing stress and improving the health of these dogs. We already know that stress is bad for us humans physically, so it's really no surprise that that's true for dogs too. Shelter staff reports a 70% decrease in health issues in dogs when they go to foster care. Another reason why fostering is so important is that you learn a lot of important information about mystery dogs. You see, a lot of dogs come into the shelter system as strays, and that means there's no documentation or information about these dogs whatsoever. And so when potential adopters come to the shelter looking for a dog that's good with kids, good with cats, and can be left alone for several hours at a time without an issue, it can be hard to find a good match because shelters just don't really have all that much information about some of these dogs and don't know the history of many of these animals in their care. When you foster, you learn valuable information about these animals in your home, what they can and can't handle, how they feel about cats, kids, and other dogs, and strangers. You also learn all those cute personality quirks that can really capture the heart of potential adopters and help a dog really stand out. Information is like gold to these animal shelters. So even if you foster a dog that doesn't end up doing that well in your home and has to be brought back to the shelter, the information you've gathered to give the shelter is going to be key in helping that dog find a home that really is a good fit for their needs. Fostering is also great because you can help dogs become more adoptable by teaching them new skills, by teaching basic manners and socialization skills. You're really setting up these dogs for success in their forever homes. This can be as much or as little work as you want. You can get some really great dog training experience and practice if you want. Or a dog can just learn by passively being in your home. For some dogs, living inside in a house is a totally new thing for them. And having a kind and compassionate guide while they figure out the ropes will allow them to transition to their forever home a lot more easily. Fostering is also really flexible. Ideally, you're going to have the dog in your home until they're adopted, but if you can't commit to that long, that's okay too. Whether you can only foster for a weekend or several months, there are options that are going to work with your schedule and lifestyle. Most shelters I've worked with ask for at least a 2-week commitment period when bringing home an animal to foster. But of course, if it's a bad fit, no one's going to tell you have to keep the dog in your house. And many shelters, like Austin Animal Center in Texas, will be happy to let you take a dog for just an overnight or a weekend. Because even these short trips can really help a struggling animal who just needs a break and a breather from the shelter. Some dogs can really only get a good night's sleep when they're in a home, so just being able to get away for a weekend and get some good Z's can make a huge difference for some of these stressed out dogs. Okay, let's address a few common concerns. I know what you're thinking. But Megan, I'd get way too attached to these dogs in my house. I don't know if my heart could handle letting them go. Trust me, I get it. Saying goodbye is hard. And it's really normal to shed a tear or two when a foster dog gets adopted into their forever home and leaves your care. But here's the truth. That temporary heartache is so worth it when you see your foster dog thriving in their forever home. Plus, there's always another dog waiting for your help. And I've been told it does get easier the more dogs you foster. Also, I don't want to come off as a jerk saying this, but it's true. Fostering isn't about you and your feelings. It's about helping these dogs who desperately, desperately need your help. Another concern you might have is regarding space. Good news, you don't need a mansion to be a great foster parent to some of these dogs. Most dogs just need a safe, loving environment and some daily exercise. These poor dogs are miserable in the shelter. They'll take anything you can offer them. Now, what about your own pets? Shelter workers do try hard to match you with an appropriate dog that'll work for your household and any existing pets in it. But as I said earlier, if you're in an area that gets a lot of strays, there are usually a lot of question marks around some of these animals. But as long as you have a solid game plan, you can safely have a foster dog in your home that is not going to pose a risk or danger to any existing pets. Gating is really essential here. You'll always want to gate any new dog in your home in a separate area from your resident dogs or other animals for at least the first few days or weeks. Then you can graduate to doing parallel walks with your resident dog while still limiting and very carefully monitoring their interactions, always looking for any signs of stress or discomfort. I definitely recommend checking out our Starting Off on the Right Paw free dog training course. It's all about bringing a new dog home from the shelter and getting them acclimated to their new environment in a way that will set you both up for success. It's definitely fantastic material that you'll want to look over and review before fostering. And even if you don't feel like you have a ton of experience, that's okay. Shelters will provide plenty of support and really make sure they're matching you with a dog that is appropriate for your experience level. And many dogs come into your home from the shelter so stressed that all they want to do is sleep for the first few days. So as long as you have a bit of floor they can crash on, you're providing a huge service for them. Okay, so did I convince you yet? If you're ready to start fostering and changing canine lives, here's what you want to do. First, contact your local shelter or rescue group. A lot of them will have information about how to foster right on their website. Next, you'll want to complete the application process, which typically includes questions about your living situation and experience with dogs. After that, you'll want to prepare for a possible home visit to make sure that your home is safe for the dogs. Then you'll meet potential foster dogs and find a good match. And then finally, you'll sign the foster agreement and bring home your first foster dog. After that, you can focus on helping the dog get adjusted and really start to promote them to the public. Make flyers, talk about the dog with your friends, and really do your best to get this dog adopted into a forever home ASAP. step. Fostering truly is the best way to help shelter dogs. With shelter overcrowding at critical levels, your home can be the life-saving space that gives these dogs the chance they really deserve. Have you ever fostered a dog before? Are you considering it now? Please drop your questions and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And if this video has inspired you to foster, please let me know how it goes. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to us on YouTube for more tips on how to be the best dog parent you can be. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.